Welcome to Spiritual Basics Podcast with April and Jen, a bi-monthly podcast designed to teach the searchers, seekers, and spiritually curious the basics of metaphysics and new thought. They are all about the basics, but they are not basic bitches. Now, here are your hosts, April Darley and Jen Merkel.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us this week. My name is Jen Merkel.
And I'm April Darley.
So April, what do you think about our new little intro? I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm an I can't even say it. I'm an Anglophile, of course.
Yes. When you first played this for me, I flashed immediately to the movie The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because the guy's voice sounds so much like the storyteller in that. And so I was like, I don't know. But then he gets to our tagline.
Yeah.
And I'm busting out laughing. Hilarious.
I love the tagline. You know, you're the one that came up with that. I think it's awesome.
Yes, it is. I just love the dramatic pause that he puts in there. It's like, but they are not basic bitches.
But we're not. So
we're not. I mean he's true. He's correct.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And it's funny too that The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I've never seen that movie.
That's going to be date night, girl. We're going to do it.
Oh, yeah, I know. We should. I mean, speaking of date night, we have a date night this weekend. I'm excited.
Yes, right.
You know.
We're going to go to one of your favorite places that just opened, right?
Torchy's Tacos just opened up here by us in Euless. Euless, Texas. The newest Torchy's. I'm surprised any restaurant is opening up nowadays, but I'm sure they're filling it up because Torchy's, I mean, it's so awesome. And you say you've never been there. So that's what we need to do Torchy's because you've never been there. And then we need to watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because I've never seen it. So
date night planned. You heard it here first, folks.
So what else is new with you, my dear?
Oh,
writing. Really busy.
I have been busy. Yes.
Business.
I picked up a bunch of new clients and then I'm writing blogs and I've been doing webinars in all my quote unquote spare time. I had 2 webinars lined up today, a couple clients today.
Wow.
Edited a blog, posted it, social media'd.
You are a machine.
That's what we do. Got to get it out there.
Yep. You are on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How was your day? What's new with you in general?
Yeah, I don't know. Just fighting with technology, worrying about dentist and orthodontist appointments, being generally upset at the world. I don't know. I was telling you, I feel really salty today. Like everything is pissing me off. I don't know why. I'm just like in a mood.
You know what? Mercury's not in retrograde, but Mars is in Aries. And I think that is actually bringing up the fighter inside a lot of people. So that could be it.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just generally cranky today, but yeah, I don't know. So, but I'm excited about what we're talking about today. So.
Yes. So surprise for everyone. We are going to spotlight our very own Jen Merkel in tonight's episode. And we're going to hear about all the wonderful things that she does with her business and how she can help you.
Yeah, well, actually, I have a few things that I do with my business, but tonight we're talking about hypnosis. I'm a certified hypnosis practitioner. So
woohoo. I
also do readings and I do a bunch of things. So we'll get to all of that stuff.
No spoilers. No spoiler alerts. Well, tell us, Jen, how did you become interested in hypnosis? What was it?
Well, it's actually pretty interesting. Just got a nudge. I don't even remember. It was like one of those things where you see signs like everywhere I went. I started seeing hypnosis, and hypnotherapy. And I was like, what is this all about? I don't know. And so I learned a little bit more about it. And I have always had really bad anxiety. And especially, there you can probably hear little Karma down there.
Her emotional support animal, little Karma.
Oh, she's barking at my candle. So of course, because I don't know why. It's not like it's the first time she's seen a candle, but
fairies.
There's probably some fairies or spirits hanging out over there or something. She's like, go away. My mom's recording.
That's right.
So what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Sorry. Speaking of fairies, like my mind is wandering.
Oh, you're away with the fairies.
Exactly, with the gentry. So, I had been going through some really high anxiety times where I was going through a divorce, and as often happens, I had some money issues involving that, where I was paying an attorney a lot of money, and out of my monthly paycheck, and it was just a really difficult time for me. I was also had moved to Texas, so I was away from a lot of my friends, and I didn't have any family in town actually. And so it was just really hard for me. When I learned about hypnosis, I learned that some of the techniques used in hypnosis were things that I had already learned, just taught myself, to, keep my stress and anxiety down. And so the more I learned about it, the more I learned, that's a way I'd really like to help others as well. And so I went through SWIHA, the Southwest Institute of the Healing Arts, which is accredited with the American Board of Education, because I wanted to do it right. I wanted to get certified.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can just, anybody really can go and learn hypnosis and get a supposed certification, like from...
Right.
An online class that's on sale for $20 or something. But I spent a lot more than that because I wanted to do it right, and I wanted to learn from the experts. And so I've been doing it for, it's been a year now.
Fantastic. Well, tell us all about what is hypnosis.
Well, first of all, I know this is a spiritual basics podcast, but hypnosis isn't a spiritual thing, using air quotes spiritual. It's actually used by millions of people from all different backgrounds and beliefs. But I personally am very spiritual focused, so I bring that into my practice. That's why most of my clients I attract are also very spiritual people, because A, I think the universe sends those people to me, but B, also when they learn about me, they realize that I am spiritually focused, and when they are, it's just another way that we, have things in common. But hypnosis is actually started with magnets hundreds of years ago, and that's where the term animal magnetism came from.
Interesting.
But hypnosis, as we know it, has actually been practiced since the 1700s, and it's a safe, drug-free, natural way to reprogram your subconscious mind. So your conscious mind is your will, it's your ego, it's what your awareness is. But subconscious, that actually produces the imagery that's readily available to the conscious mind. So it uses all your senses. It's where your memories and past experiences are stored. And you may or may not consciously remember them. Your subconscious is like a hard drive. It takes in all the information, but you don't necessarily remember everything that's there or able to access everything that's there. So through hypnosis, we access that subconscious part of yourself and actually reprogram it based on your goals. So if your goal is to reduce stress, we reprogram that subconscious part of you so that when a stressful situation comes up, you can handle it better. And then also we can, through hypnosis, access your superconscious mind, which is how your subconscious connects to the spiritual world. So that's where we would be doing things like past life regression, accessing the Akashic records, working with the collective consciousness.
Fantastic. Oh, that sounds really, really great stuff. So for me, I also do subconscious type work, and neuro-emotional technique was my jam. So tell us what drew you to hypnosis. Like, what made you prefer that or really resonate with it versus other mind-body techniques?
Well, like I said, because I had already been using some of the techniques that I learned for my own stress management, things that I learned because they helped me to cope. And when I learned more about it, it resonated so well with me. And the more I learned, the more I realized this is a way I can really help others. And one thing too is that I am a very vocal person. I use my voice in many different ways. And I realized this is a way that I was being called spiritually to use my voice. And I'll be using my hypnotic voice in a few minutes when we do a little exercise.
You guys, I tease her all the time that she has the perfect phone sex voice. Like if she ever needed a part-time job to do that, because she has the best voice. You guys already know, if you've been listening to the show for a while, that Jen has like an amazing voice. But when she turns on her like hypnotic voice, it's like, what is happening right now? It's so awesome. I love it.
Thank you. I do
love
hear
it.
that from clients. And I mean, obviously I've done hypnosis with you several times. So I know
Yes.
you're really
I love it.
familiar with that.
That's right. Well, for those out there who don't know about hypnosis, like let's talk about the nuts and bolts. Give me some science. Give me how does it work?
Sure. So neuroplasticity is a really long, complicated scientific word, but it's basically the ability to reprogram your subconscious mind in order to make a change. So the best way to just probably just to tell you what a session with me is like. If you're doing a private session, what we do is discuss what you're trying to achieve. And of course, I'll answer any questions you have about the process or about hypnosis. And then when we're all ready to go and you feel comfortable, I put you in a relaxed hypnotic state. That's where it's your theta waves that we're working with, your theta mind. And it may seem like you're sleeping. Some people tell me that, but you're actually fully aware. Some people feel like they went to sleep, but their subconscious mind is still soaking in all of that. Then using positive affirmations, I speak to your subconscious, again, using my hypnosis voice. And then I bring you back to full consciousness. And you can usually see results after just one session. But for most issues, you need at least 3 to 4 sessions or sometimes more.
And what are some common questions or concerns that a lot of people have about hypnosis in general?
Well, the two that I hear the most often, one is people think it's like mind control, or they want to know if a hypnotist can make them do something they don't want to do. And I think a lot of this is rooted in, like, if you see the YouTube videos or the old TV shows in Vegas, where you've got the show hypnotist who like has people up on a stage, you know, barking like dogs and
cluck like a chicken.
Yeah, those kind of things, right? And they are using hypnosis, but those stage hypnotists are trained to actually go and interact with the audience, and they pull out people that are already predisposed to do that. So they know how to find the people that wouldn't mind getting up on stage and acting crazy. So if you were ever at a hypnotist show like that, and you didn't already, you know, have that ability or that desire to be up on stage goofing around, you wouldn't be picked because they know who to pick. It's kind of like I had one time I was at a show and I had someone ask me, or he said he saw a movie where a hypnotist made somebody kill people. And the way I explained it was, well, that person probably was already okay with killing people. You know, you can't be made to do something that isn't what you do. And then the other thing too, that sometimes I get asked, are people want to know if they can, like I can make them forget a bad memory or something they don't want to remember. And again, the subconscious remembers everything. So a hypnotist can actually suppress a memory, but that's not something that I recommend or something that I would do, because that's not healing. And that's our whole goal here, is to heal. So instead of actually suppressing that, what we can do is alter your emotions around that. So you know how to function at a conscious level. So it's like, rather than just tucking it away in a drawer somewhere, you're still going to be affected by that. So in order to heal, we actually have to bring it to the light and do it.
I completely agree with that. Absolutely. I often have clients as well ask me if they could just have me turn off their emotions and just sort of skip certain things. And sorry, folks, kind of doesn't work that way. The only way out is through.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Now, can anyone be hypnotized? Because you always see these people that are like, no, I'm too mentally strong. I can't possibly be hypnotized.
Well, actually, yes, anybody can be hypnotized. What works best is if they are willing. So, you know, to be able to relax and keep an open mind. I try to coach clients on that beforehand. People that are like right-brained or more creative usually have an easier time with that. But even if you're more left-brained and logical, there are different techniques we have for working with that. But there's something too that you probably don't even realize. You actually go into hypnosis several times a day. There are different forms of hypnosis. So like when you're watching a movie on TV, doing routine tasks like making coffee in the morning, or even like driving to work. Like the other day I was on the way to my office, and I don't know where my mind was, but I realized I missed a turn. Now, this is an office I drive to every day. And I'm like, how did I miss that turn? I realized, my mind was in that hypnotic state. You're conscious, but you're not thinking of every little thing. What we're going to do now then is a little exercise called a suggestibility test. So in order to find out how easily you can be hypnotized or what kind of level you are at that, we have different ways to do that, and that's called suggestibility tests. So what I'm going to ask April and everybody out there listening, first of all, if you are driving or operating heavy machinery, or if it's unsafe for you to close your eyes and relax, please do not. Just listen or pause it until you're in a safe place. Now I want everybody just relax. I'm not going to
turn on the voice. She's turning on the voice, y'all. There it is.
I'm not going to put you in a hypnotic state, but I am going to bring you to a relaxed state. So just close your eyes. Taking a deep breath. Now exhale. Just relax. Taking another deep breath. And now exhale. Just release all the tension from the day. Now I want you to imagine that you're standing in your kitchen. And in front of you on the counter, you see a cutting board and a knife and a nice big juicy lemon. You look at the lemon, pick it up in your hand, bring that lemon up to your nose, and you can smell the scent of that lemon. Now you place the lemon on the cutting board and go ahead and pick up the knife and cut that lemon in half. Good. Now that lemon is cut in half and you can feel the juices in your hand, a little bit of spray of citrus in the air. Go ahead and bring that lemon, that half lemon, up to your nose and give it a little sniff. Smell that scent. Now I want you to put out your tongue. Imagine yourself putting your tongue out and actually putting your tongue on the fruity part of the lemon. And just taste that juicy lemon. Good. All right, now I want you to kind of come back to the present. And I'm going to ask now, did you salivate during that exercise?
Yes, like Pavlov's dogs. You just rang the lemony bell and there it went.
I salivate I'm the one conducting this and I salivate during it. But that's just goes to show that the more you salivate, the more you can imagine those things and imagine yourself in those places, the more suggestible you are. And 90% of people will actually salivate during that test. So, and the 10% that don't, like I said, we have other exercises we can do to kind of get your mind into that state.
Now, because we are a Spiritual Basics podcast, and in the past we've talked about the clairs. So I'm clairvoyant, so I am literally seeing the pictures as you are describing them. So do you feel, or have you noticed a correlation between people who have a higher level of clairvoyance, like being really great at hypnotic subjects for you?
Actually, that's something that as a practitioner, you learn to work with. Like if you remember what I just talked about, was visualizing the lemon, seeing your counter, but I also said picking up the lemon, right? And I said smelling the lemon and tasting the lemon. So I used all the senses except literally hearing, right? Which you can use also. So a really good hypnotherapist is going to be able to put that all into the package. You can talk to your client and find out what they are better with. And if they're a more visual person, then you know to make sure you have the visual cues. So yeah, there are different ways you can work with the client and figure out what's going to resonate with them best.
Fantastic. So what are some of the common reasons that people would seek hypnosis out as a form of treatment?
Well, I like to say, and I know I've said it before, if there's a self-help book about it, then we can help you with hypnosis as well. But that's really literally anything you have a goal for. Now, me personally, I take a holistic approach to hypnosis. It's funny. I was watching a TV show the other day, and this woman was like, "Oh, I don't take any drugs or vitamins or anything. I'm completely holistic." And I'm like, well, that's not what holistic means. So I take a holistic approach to hypnosis. And what that actually means is that I encompass your emotional body, your physical body, your intellectual body, and then also your spiritual body. Again, I'm a very spiritual person, so I put that in. So those 4 elements are really what holistic means. But my specialties are, of course, I had already mentioned stress and anxiety relief, because that's, how I was introduced to hypnosis, but also spiritual development. So that means things like inner child issues, so thoughts and patterns that your subconscious picked up during your development as a child or a young person, also past life regression, and then advancing your intuitive abilities. So that could include things like helping you set boundaries as an empath, improving your intuition or your clairvoyance or any of the clairs, connecting with guides and angels, and working with spirits. So those are my specialties. But there are other uses for hypnosis. And before I get into that, I do want to, huge disclaimer here, I am not a doctor, and I always want to make sure that my clients that I'm working with have a medical professional they're working with if it's warranted. So like if they have depression or physical ailments, that they are working with a medical professional, because that's when hypnosis is going to work the best anyways, when you have a bunch of different things working together. So one of the most popular things that people use hypnosis for is weight management. And there's a really good success rate with that. And actually, it's one of the packages that I offer. I have weight management clients that you can just, get the whole package, and we have it set up a certain way. It's very structured, and it's one of the things that actually I had to do as my final project for my certification. So I'm very proud of that. Another thing too is habit cessation. So we don't like to say stop smoking or stop drinking. We don't like to say lose weight either. It's weight management or weight reduction, because we don't use negative terms. Anyway, so habit cessation, like I said, smoking, drinking, nail biting also. Fears and phobias is a big one. So fear of flying, fear of heights, claustrophobia and agoraphobia. Pain management is another one, especially chronic pain management or migraines. Performance enhancement also. This is something that a lot of people might not know, but things like self-confidence. A lot of professional athletes and pro speakers, students and politicians use hypnosis for their self-confidence and for their stage presence. And also sleep issues and insomnia. One thing that I hear from all of my clients is they're all very relaxed at the end of the session. So hypnosis goes really well with sleep issues, but it's not just about you learning how to relax. It's also learning, what's keeping you up at night, how to reduce that mind chatter, how to make your room that you're sleeping in the place for sleep, reducing screen time or playing some soft music or including other things like essential oils. So it's not necessarily 100% hypnosis. Even everything else that I do, really, it's not just, okay, we're doing hypnosis and that's it. I always assign what I call homework, that is listening to the recordings of the actual hypnosis session or doing other things that are customized to what their goals are.
Absolutely. And Jen, you write your script, so you don't just use like a blanket script for everyone.
No, well, so I have access to a lot of scripts, but I will be honest, so I'm an Aquarius, so, I like to change, right? I like to change things, but I'm all about customizing things. So I do have a bunch of scripts that I can use. And a lot of times I will use those scripts, but then I will plug in certain things for specific clients. Some scripts I will write myself just from scratch. So it just depends what it is. Like, for example, I do group hypnosis every month, which we'll talk about again in another minute, but I recently did one on meeting your spirit guide. And that's a script that I wrote all by myself. 100% Jen Merkel right there.
Yep. And I was on that. I was on that group hypnosis and it was amazing. So Check it out.
Well, I appreciate your support in that. There are some other interesting things that you can use hypnosis for that I didn't even know before I started studying hypnosis. One thing is natural childbirth. If you want to have your child and not have drugs, you can use hypnosis, hypnotic techniques to get through that. Also, as an accompaniment to surgical procedures, hypnosis can minimize bleeding and reduce pain. Of course, it'll reduce fear and anxiety leading up to the surgery. And then after the surgery, it'll speed up recovery. And some people have used it successfully in organ transplants where their organs might their body might be rejecting their organs. They can use hypnosis to help their body to accept the organs. And this is really interesting. I never heard about this before studying, but hypnoanesthesia. And there are some people that are allergic to anesthesia or they have reactions to traditional anesthesia, and they have found success in using hypnosis in place of anesthesia. And that's a big thing, especially in the dental world. And hypnoanesthesia was actually invented, or I should say first used, by James Braid back in the 1840s. So it's been around for a while. And then even there's something else too pretty interesting, hypnosurgery. And the only real instance I've heard about that is like a gastric band or a lap band surgery, where there's a script we go through using hypnosis to walk them through a surgical procedure where surgery isn't actually being performed, but hypnosis is communicating with their subconscious brain as though it were being performed. When they're done, they come out of it, and it has been shown to be really effective in that way.
I've definitely heard stories like that with women who are afraid to give birth with some of the hypnobirthing, that they'll go in beforehand and have a script written where it really takes them through the entire labor and delivery process and really takes that fear out of it for them so that they can go into their actual delivery and feel calm and confident and not scared. So that's amazing.
When I have a client that I work with one-on-one, I make sure that they always have a recording of all the sessions we do. That's part of their homework, is to listen to those recordings. So if I haven't yet, if I had a patient that was looking for that, I would definitely record something for her, and so she could listen to it during that whole procedure. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, how do you know if your therapist is legit? So if you're looking for a hypnotherapist, what should we be looking for when choosing a hypnotherapist?
Well, that's actually a great question. As I had mentioned before, you can go online and find hypnosis schools for as cheap as $25 for a certification, but it's just a bogus certification. Anybody could put together a certification that you can hang on the wall, right? So what you really want to do is make sure that your hypnotherapist has sufficient training and certification. Like I said, I attended school through the Southwest Institute of the Healing Arts, which is American Board of Education accredited. But the membership in a professional organization such as the American Board of Hypnotherapists, which I am also a member of, the professional organizations are the ones that actually grant the official certification. So I had to go through this very extensive training through SWIHA and then prove that I passed the entire course as well as the exam. And then I submitted everything to the ABH, and they provided my certification. So the other thing too that I think is important is that you find someone who matches your ethics and beliefs. There are hypnotherapists out there who are psychologists or psychiatrists, and they do hypnotherapy as part of their practice, and it's completely legitimate. Nothing wrong with that. But again, like I had mentioned before, my clients tend to be spiritually minded. And again, I believe that's just because they find me, and actually I've had clients tell me that I saw other hypnotherapists online, but I went to your website and you had a spiritual belief very similar to mine. So And those are the kind of people I want to work with. They're my
Yeah.
people, you know?
Yeah, your vibe
You all,
attracts your
y'all.
tribe. Yeah.
I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you're my people, right? Because this
Yes.
is what we talk about. So
You are in our inner circle. You've made it. All right. So how can our listeners contact you for more information or to book a session with you?
Well, like I mentioned, I do monthly group sessions, but I also do private sessions, and everything's being done virtually. With my private sessions, I offer a free consultation and assessment, and you can learn more about it by going to my website, which is jenmerkelhypnosis.com. Also, you can go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, follow my blog. I do several blog posts a week, but I do at least once a week, I'll do like a wellness something about how you can use hypnosis or hypnotic techniques in your own life. And then also, of course, I'm all over social media, my Facebook page, I post, and Instagram, I post affirmations every week on Tuesdays. And I have a YouTube channel too. So we can drop all of those links in the description.
Fantastic. And you mentioned that you do group hypnosis events at least once per month.
Yes, I do. There are different subjects where actually the show will be airing after my August one, which is about clearing money blocks clearing blocks of money and success. But in September, I will be doing one for reducing stress.
Ooh.
And that I put out a poll on my Facebook, and that was the overwhelming, I think 90% of the people were like, this is what we need. So that's what we'll be doing.
Fantastic. Well, that all sounds amazing. Thank you for sharing what you do and how you can help others. Love
Happy
it.
to. I mean, I love the stuff. It's what I love doing. I love working with clients. I love helping them on their journey and helping them reach their goals.
Fantastic. Well, if you would like to send us a question or you have a show idea, you can always reach us at spiritualbasicspodcast@gmail.com or check us out on our website, spiritualbasicspodcast.com.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And go ahead and reach out to me if you have any questions about hypnosis or want to book a session or a free consultation.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
This has been Spiritual Basics Podcast with April and Jen. Find full episodes on your favorite listening platform or visit spiritualbasicspodcast.com.